If you've been thinking about trying BrightMeds or maybe just seen their ads pop up and wondered if they're actually legit, then stick around because I'm going to walk you through exactly what it's like using them and what you should know before you spend a single cent, and whether I'd actually recommend them after using their testosterone replacement therapy meds for a while. If at any point while watching this you want to check them out, you can click the link in the description below or scan the QR code on the screen to get their meds at the best price available. Okay, so let's get started from the beginning. BrightMeds is one of the most newer services that's trying to make medication more accessible and less expensive, especially for people who are dealing with things like low testosterone. They're basically an online pharmacy and telehealth provider rolled into one, which means you can get your consultation, prescription, and your medication all in one place without having to step a foot into a clinic. And the setup alone is what caught my attention, because getting TRT through a traditional route can be a bit of a headache. Between finding a doctor, getting lab work done, waiting for prescription, and paying inflated pharmacy prices, it's just a lot. BrightMeds tries to simplify all of that. Their whole approach is about convenience, keeping costs down, and making it straightforward through that even if it's your first time trying TRT, you won't feel overwhelmed. Now, in terms of what they actually offer, BrightMeds has a lot from GLP weight loss products to an anti-aging formula. But since I mainly tried out their TRT products, let's focus on that. They've got injections, gels, and creams, basically the main forms of what doctors usually prescribe. Their injectable testosterone seemed to be their bread and butter, though that's also the one that I ended up trying. They've got a few different dosage options depending on what your doctor prescribes, and the process and getting started is fairly simple. You fill out a questionnaire, get connected with a licensed healthcare provider, and once everything is checked out, your medication is shipped direct to your door. When my order came in, I was actually surprised by how smooth everything went. First off, the delivery was quick. I didn't have to wait weeks like I have with other online pharmacies before. Everything came securely packaged and labeled. I didn't have to worry about whether it was stored properly. That kind of reliability really matters when you're dealing with medication. Then there was the instructions booklet. It was simple, straight to the point, and explained the injection process in a way that didn't make me feel like I needed a medical degree to figure it out. Now, about the medication itself, the quality just felt as good as TRT I've had prescribed through a local clinic in the past. I didn't notice any difference in how my body responded, and that was a big relief because I was a little skeptical about ordering something like this online. Over time, I started feeling the same standard increase of energy, focus, and overall balance that I had experienced before. Everything seemed consistent, which is exactly what you want when you're on TRT. The next thing that impressed me was the customer support. Whenever I had a question or I just wanted to double check something, there was a team that would help. I wasn't feeling like they were giving me automated responses. They actually were giving me useful answers, and it made me feel like I wasn't just buying a product, but getting some actual guidance along the way. The pricing was another big plus. TRT can get expensive fast, especially if you're paying out of pocket, but BrightMeds managed to keep it in a price at a level that is pretty reasonable, so basically you're not sacrificing quality and you're not getting hit with a bunch of random hidden fees. The entire process also felt really straightforward. I've had experiences with online pharmacies where you have to jump through endless hoops, upload documents 3 times, or deal with confusing portals. BrightMeds keeps it simple. If you fill out what's needed, get your prescription approved, and your meds show up when they're supposed to, it takes a lot of friction out of something that already a pretty personal thing for a lot of guys. Now, where it wouldn't be fair to talk about all the good without mentioning where I think there could be improvement a bit. One thing I noticed is that their website, while functional, could use a little more detail in some areas. There were a few moments where I wanted to read about an exact formulation or see a comparison detail, and that information wasn't always easy to find. It's not a major issue, but if they had to make it easier to dig into specifics, it would just make the whole process feel even more transparent. The other area is their response times for certain support tickets. Most of the time I get replies pretty fast, but there was a couple of times where I had to wait longer than expected for an answer. It wasn't a deal breaker, but it was something I noticed and hoped they would smooth out in the future. Even though these are small issues, my overall experience with BrightMeds was really positive. If someone asked me would I recommend them for TRT, I would definitely say yes. They make it simple for people who might be new to testosterone therapy or just want more affordable and manageable options. Everything from ordering process to the medication quality to the pricing hits the sweet spot. Reliable and convenience for me. For me, it just worked. And that's the best kind of review I can give. So to wrap it all up, BrightMeds really seems to be doing something right in the space of often complicating or overpricing. They've made TRT accessible without cutting corners. Even though there are a couple areas they could refine, it's clear that they are on the right track. If you've been hesitating about trying TRT because you were worried about cost or don't want to go through the usual medication runaround, BrightMeds might be actually what you've been looking for. And before you go, remember, check out the links in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to get your TRT at the best price available, and even got a solid 100% refund policy if you decide it's not for you. And before you go, I'm curious, have you heard of BrightMeds or even tried it before? Drop your thoughts and experience in the comments below. I would like to know what you guys think.